All right, it looks like the GOAT Caitlin Clark may be finally taking somewhat of a stand versus the nonsense that Stephanie White has been attempting to push upon her. We just saw Sophie Cunningham talk about Kelsey Mitchell potentially winning MVP and all of this stuff. It seems like everybody has forgotten the reason that all of the people are here, themselves included.
Caitlin Clark just sent a warning that Stephanie White cannot ignore. And the scary part is, she did not need to scream. She did not need to call anyone out. She did not need to start drama in front of a microphone. All Caitlin had to do was say the quiet part out loud. If she does not play basketball well, none of this comes with it. The tickets, the cameras, the sold-out arenas, the national TV games, the brand deals, the attention, the entire machine that has suddenly wrapped itself around the Indiana Fever.
Oh man, let's pull it up right now and let me show y'all what the hell I'm talking about, because they in trouble. They're in a world of trouble. Now, this is the footage right here. Let me scroll down. We're going to go over this stuff here because they showed the final roster. So this is the clip. And what's crazy about this clip, I missed this clip yesterday. This clip came out yesterday morning. It said, our coach allowed a supporter, Stephanie White, mic'd up. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Let's watch this. Let's watch it.
Don't be trying to get athletic. Just be bullied. Good. Good. Yeah. Yeah, KK. Come on, Yellow. Yeah, tell him, Mike. Come on. Great cut. Great cut. Good. Mismatch. Yes. Good, Didi. Good, Tori. Good. Nice, yes. Good. Good.
What the hell is this? What the hell?
That was not just a quote. That was a warning, because Caitlin Clark knows exactly why people are watching. They are not tuning in to see her stand in the corner. They are not buying tickets to watch her become a normal off-ball guard. They are not filling arenas to see the most electric player in basketball get turned into a side piece in someone else's system. They are watching for the logo threes. They are watching for the full court passes. They are watching for the chaos she creates when the ball is in her hands. And now, all eyes are on Stephanie White, because if the Indiana Fever get this wrong, the backlash will not be small. It will be loud, it will be emotional, and it may turn into the first major crisis of the Caitlin Clark era.
When it rains, it definitely pours, man. Stephanie White is back in the hot seat, dog. Now, there have been several videos coming out that various people have been posting showing Stephanie White at practice. Now, when practice first started up, after the CBA negotiations and stuff was over with, we was noticing something, a trend within Stephanie White. And to me, it looked like she wasn't coaching. Looked like she was just standing there clapping. Like a what? Cheerleader. That's what she was doing. It was a whole lot of her not coaching. Somebody who was coaching is the assistant coach, Coach Kelly. He was coaching a lot. I mean, we seen Coach Kelly running up and down the sidelines, coaching as if it was a game. That's what you want to see, energy from your coaching staff. And I'm here to tell you, when it came to Breonna in January, she was coaching. We seen her do interviews. We seen her running up and down the sideline, coaching. Anytime we see Stephanie White, she's standing there, paper in her hand like this. Paper in her hand like this. That's what we see Stephanie White doing. And I'm telling you right now, this upcoming game against Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings, and the Wings look good. They don't look bad. They look good, and they damn sure don't look great, but they are beatable. Very much so beatable. Now, this is going to be the biggest test of the season already. Because I'm telling you right now, the whole season campaign is going to be fire Stephanie White. That is going to be the topic. I can almost guarantee you.
But before we go further, let's be clear. This is not about Caitlin Clark demanding special treatment. This is about the Fever understanding reality. Caitlin Clark is not ordinary. She is not just another young player trying to find her place. She is the reason Indiana became appointment television. She is the reason casual fans now know the Fever schedule. She is the reason every possession feels like it can become a viral moment.
This here is courtesy of Yahoo Sports, where it says Caitlin Clark spoke to Yahoo Sports about her growth as an endorsement sensation, business mogul, and more. Okay, now in this article, it is Caitlin kind of talking about, being an off-the-floor sensation and all this popularity and all of that is great, but the only reason all these people are here is because of my greatness on the floor, and I have to continue to showcase that at a high level if I'm gonna keep this stardom. Okay, we already see ticket prices dwindling, fans taking a stand versus the organization, okay, for some wrongdoings, being lied to all last season about Caitlin Clark's injury, the day-to-day status, which was complete BS, and they know it, we know it, I know it, you know it. So Caitlin Clark says this, okay? Caitlin Clark is a marketing juggernaut, but says winning will unlock more. At this point, Caitlin Clark can sign and secure any brand deal she wants. The only thing missing from her meteoric rise to global ubiquity is winning an elusive championship. The Indiana Fever superstar guard has helped spur the WNBA's growth to record heights as the league tips off its 30th season this weekend following a newly signed collective bargaining agreement that increases the average player's salary fourfold from 2025.
So when Caitlin says the basketball has to come first, she is not just talking about winning games. She is talking about the entire product. Because the Caitlin Clark product only works when Caitlin Clark is allowed to be Caitlin Clark. That means pace. That means freedom. That means the ball in her hands. That means letting her read the floor, bend the defense, and force opponents into panic. And that is where Stephanie White suddenly finds herself in a very difficult position. Because fans are already nervous. They have seen the practice clips. They have seen Stephanie White clapping on the sideline. They have heard the generic encouragement. They have watched assistant coaches look more active in certain moments. Now, to be fair, practice clips do not tell the full story. They are short, they are edited, they can miss context. A coach can be teaching before the camera rolls and correcting things after the camera cuts. But in sports, perception becomes reality very fast.
There is no doubt in my mind, Caitlin Clark fans is pissed off with Stephanie White. Y'all want to know what happened yesterday? I went live yesterday, right? And instead of us mourning the loss of McConnell, no. People wanted to talk about Stephanie White. Stephanie White gotta go. This has to stop. Now, there was some footage from the Indiana Fever that was dropped by the admin yesterday. Now, why they dropping this footage, I have no clue whatsoever. One thing I can say, I think the Fever admins need to drop footage that caters more to the fans, because that's essentially why y'all dropping the footage, is to, get the fans hype, get ready for the season. Now, these little experiments y'all doing just ain't it. I just gotta be honest. Now, granted, they can't get on board to be all like, hell, Stephanie White just standing there clapping like a cheerleader. No, they can't do all that. But something that they can do is play some, at least with her coaching. Come on, Caitlin, we need you to go right, go left, shoot a three, send the ball to Caitlin. Something. Give us something to be happy about. Because I'm telling you right now, this footage they dropped yesterday, oh my God. Guys, this is not it. This is not it at all.
And right now, the perception is dangerous. Fans are asking one simple question: who is actually running this team? Because from the outside, it looked like Stephanie White was trying to win over the cameras instead of showing the fan base a clear plan. And when a fan base already fears that Caitlin Clark might be underused, those clips become gasoline on the fire. That is why the panic is real, not because Stephanie White has already failed, but because she is now being judged before every game even starts. Every substitution will be watched. Every play call will be analyzed. Every time Caitlin goes 3 possessions without touching the ball, fans will notice. Every time she gets parked too far from the action, fans will react. Every time the offense looks slow, predictable, or disconnected, the same question will come back. Is Caitlin Clark being unleashed, or is she being controlled?
I don't know, but I don't want to deal with this the first game. I don't want to deal with them trying to lie. I don't want to deal with them trying to cover up. Like Caitlin Clark might not be dealing with an issue if she is. Another thing, Stephanie White need to be fired. I don't give a damn what they say. I don't care how they put it. Stephanie White is not the coach for Caitlin Clark. As soon as Caitlin Clark got to going and she started having that third quarter explosion we all seen, Stephanie White immediately took her off the ball. Then she started realizing, damn, we're not scoring anymore. Let me put the ball back in Caitlin Clark's hand. All these different experiments, all these different things that she doing is not it, bro. I just got to be honest. It's just not it.
And that is the real tension here, because fans are not just worried about wins and losses. They are worried about Caitlin being iced out. They remember last season. They remember the awkward stretches. They remember the moments where Caitlin looked like she was fighting the opponent, the pace, and sometimes even the rhythm of her own team. They remember when the offense did not always feel built around the player who made the league impossible to ignore.
On a night in, night out basis in the WNBA, doing my thing and being spectacular doing it. That's the reason all these people are here. That's the reason all these people have gained all this interest in the league. So to hear her voice that understanding, Stephanie White ain't gonna be able to stay in the way it is. Oh no, Caitlin Clark is not about to let bonehead Stephanie White block her greatness and even more opportunities that are waiting for her.
So now, any hint of that happening again becomes a problem. That is why comments about running plays for Kelsey Mitchell created such a reaction. And let's be fair, Kelsey Mitchell is not the villain here. She is a serious scorer. She is important to the Fever. She can absolutely help Caitlin Clark win. But balance cannot mean confusion. Balance cannot mean pretending every player has the same gravity. Balance cannot mean taking the ball away from the one player who changes how every defense in the league has to think. Because when Caitlin Clark has the ball, the entire floor shifts. Defenders step higher, help defenders panic earlier. Passing lanes open, bigs get easier touches, shooters get cleaner looks. The whole team becomes more dangerous. So yes, the Fever need more than Caitlin, but they cannot build an offense that makes Caitlin feel like just one option. That is not balance. That is overthinking. And Stephanie White cannot afford to overthink this, because the pressure around Caitlin Clark is bigger than basketball now. This is business. This is media. This is the future of the league. Caitlin Clark is tied to massive brands: Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Xfinity, national broadcasts, sold-out arenas, primetime slots. The Fever are not just coaching a roster anymore. They are managing the most valuable spotlight in women's basketball. That means every decision has consequences. If Caitlin looks electric, everybody wins. The Fever win. The WNBA wins. The broadcasters win. The sponsors win. The fans win. But if she looks boxed in, if she looks frustrated, if the offense looks like it is trying to make her smaller instead of bigger, then the questions will become brutal. Why would you take the most exciting player in the sport and make her less exciting? Why would you slow down the one player who brings new people into the building? Why would you ask Caitlin Clark to fit into a system when the system should be built around her? That is the warning Stephanie White has to hear. Caitlin Clark does not need to threaten anyone. Her value speaks for itself. The ratings speak. The ticket sales speak. The endorsements speak. The fan reaction speaks. And now the next game becomes the first real test. Because practice clips and interviews only tell us so much. The truth shows up when the ball is tipped. Fans will be watching everything. Who brings the ball up? How quickly does Caitlin touch it? Is she initiating the offense? Is she coming off high screens? Is she attacking downhill? Is she creating early pressure? Is she being trusted to control the tempo? Or does the offense look slow, careful, and afraid to let her cook? That is what people want to know, because one game will not define the season, but it might define the trust. If Stephanie White comes out with a fast, sharp, Caitlin-led offense, the noise can quiet down quickly. Fans will forgive practice clips. They will forgive awkward media moments. They will forgive early uncertainty if the product on the floor makes sense. But if the Fever come out flat, if Caitlin looks disconnected, or if the offense looks like it is trying to prove a point instead of win games, then the backlash will explode. And that is the part Stephanie White cannot ignore. This fan base is not passive anymore. They are not just watching casually. They are emotionally invested. They have spent money. They have traveled. They have bought jerseys. They have defended Caitlin online. They have helped turn the Fever into one of the most talked about teams in basketball. So they feel ownership over this moment. And whether that is fair or not, it is real. They want proof that the Fever understand what they have. They want proof that Caitlin is the engine. They want proof that Stephanie White is not going to turn the most electric player in basketball into a safe, watered-down version of herself. And this is where Stephanie White deserves a real chance. She is experienced. She knows the league. She has been around high-level basketball for a long time. A few short clips do not prove she cannot coach. But this is not a normal job. This is not a normal roster. And Caitlin Clark is not a normal star. The patience level is different. The spotlight is different. The consequences are different. Stephanie White is coaching in the middle of a storm, and every decision she makes now carries more weight than it would anywhere else. That is why Caitlin's warning matters, because it cuts through everything. The fame only matters if the basketball works. The business only grows if the product stays electric. The fans only keep coming back if Caitlin Clark is allowed to be the player they came to see. So now Stephanie White has one job. Do not hide her. Do not slow her down. Do not overcorrect. Do not turn the most dangerous weapon in the league into a decoy. Build the offense around her gravity. Let her create. Let her attack. Let her make mistakes if she has to, but let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Because if she is unleashed, the Indiana Fever become must-watch television. But if she is held back, the fans will not just complain. They will revolt. And that is why Stephanie White is already under pressure. Caitlin Clark's warning was not loud, but it was clear. The league is watching. The fans are watching. The sponsors are watching. And now Stephanie White has to prove she understands the assignment. If you're still watching, drop Unleash Clark in the comments.
This afternoon in Indianapolis, Indiana, it's the season opener for the Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings. Gainbridge Fieldhouse vibrating right now with electricity as Caitlin Clark is back after being limited to 13 games a season ago. She will go up against last year's Rookie of the Year, Paige Beckers.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever just opened their season in the wildest way possible. 104 points. A home crowd that was absolutely ready to explode. Aaliyah Boston battling inside. Kelsey Mitchell hitting huge shots. Caitlin Clark looking healthy, fast, and dangerous again. And somehow, it still was not enough, because the Dallas Wings walked into Indiana and beat the Fever 107-104. And the most shocking part was not just the final score, it was how calm Paige Beckers looked while doing it.
We are not overreacting to the Indiana Fever losing this game. We are not. Under no circumstance are we overreacting to this. It's one of those things where the Indiana Fever played minutes. They played minutes of exceptional basketball and a lot of bad basketball.
This was supposed to be Indiana's statement night, the first game of the regular season. The building was buzzing. The WNBA's 30th season was tipping off. And Caitlin Clark was back in the spotlight after being limited last season. The broadcast even opened by saying the arena was vibrating with electricity as Clark returned, with Paige Beckers on the other side for Dallas. That was the setup. Caitlin Clark back. Indiana at home. Stephanie White leading a Fever team with real expectations. But Dallas had no interest in being part of someone else's celebration. From the opening minutes, you could feel it. The Wings were not scared of the crowd. They were not scared of the moment. And they were definitely not scared of Caitlin Clark. Right away, Dallas put Paige Beckers into the action. Paige was matched up on Clark early, and that immediately gave the game a different feeling. This was not just Fever versus Wings. This felt like the beginning of a new rivalry. Clark on one side, Paige on the other, two of the biggest names in women's basketball, sharing the same floor on opening day. And Dallas punched first. Paige hit an early three after an offensive rebound. Odyssey Sims came out firing. Arike Ogunbowale started finding her rhythm. And Indiana was suddenly chasing the game instead of controlling it. That became the story of the entire night. Every time the Fever looked like they were about to take over, Dallas had another answer. And that is what made this game so dangerous for Indiana, because Caitlin Clark did not disappear. That is the scary part. Clark had moments where she looked exactly like the player Fever fans needed her to be. She attacked the rim, she hit from deep, she pushed the pace. She found Aaliyah Boston. There were stretches where the whole building started to feel it. Clark hit a right wing three, then she pulled up from deep again. Then she attacked the basket and finished through traffic. Later, she spun inside and laid it in, looking healthy on the finish. And when Clark started imploring the crowd, it felt like Indiana was about to flip the game completely. But here's the problem. Indiana gave up 107 points, and you cannot keep asking Caitlin Clark to win shootouts every night. That is where this loss becomes bigger than one game. The Fever scored 104 points at home and still lost. That tells you this was not just about offense. This was about stops. This was about rebounding. This was about late game control. And Dallas exposed that immediately. Stephanie White had already been pushing the Fever to be better on the glass and go after the basketball.
I don't know, but I don't want to deal with this the first game. I don't want to deal with them trying to lie. I don't want to deal with them trying to cover up. Like Caitlin Clark might not be dealing with an issue if she is. Another thing, Stephanie White need to be fired. I don't give a damn what they say. I don't care how they put it. Stephanie White is not the coach for Caitlin Clark. As soon as Caitlin Clark got to going, and she started having that third quarter explosion we all seen, Stephanie White immediately took her off the ball. Then she started realizing, damn, we're not scoring anymore. Let me put the ball back in Caitlin Clark's hand. All these different experiments, all these different things that she doing is not it, bro. I just got to be honest. It's just not it.
The broadcast noted that Indiana struggled with that in the preseason, and those same issues showed up again in the opener. Dallas kept getting extra chances. Dallas kept finding open players. Dallas kept attacking Indiana's defensive mistakes, and the Wings did it with balance. That is the difference. This was not just Erike going crazy. This was not just Paige having a big game. This was not just Odyssey Sims catching fire. It was all three. Erike finished with 22 points. Paige finished with 20. Odyssey Sims finished with 20. 3 Dallas players scored at least 20 points. That is a nightmare for any defense because you cannot load up on one player. If Indiana sent help, Dallas made the next pass. If Indiana overcommitted, Dallas found the open shooter. If Indiana got sloppy, Dallas ran, and Paige Beckers was right in the middle of it. Paige did not shock Caitlin Clark and the Fever because she had some loud, out-of-control performance. She shocked them because she looked poised. She looked comfortable. She looked like the moment was not too big. That is what stood out. She was navigating traps. She was making the right reads. She was using her size in the mid-range. She was getting to her spots. And late in the game, when the Fever were trying to build pressure, Paige stayed calm. The broadcast highlighted one possession where Paige navigated the defense beautifully and delivered the ball to Odyssey Sims at the exact right time. Later, Paige used her size for a fadeaway, made a move while guarded by Clark, and then had a poised late possession with a fake, a take, and a make. That is why this performance matters. Paige did not look like someone trying to survive Caitlin Clark's spotlight. She looked like someone comfortable taking part of it. And that is a major message to the rest of the league. Because Dallas did not just win this game with talent, they won it with composure. Indiana kept fighting. Aaliyah Boston had strong moments inside. Her footwork looked sharp. She cleaned up misses. She made passes that opened the floor. And when the Fever started building momentum in the third quarter, Boston was right in the middle of it. Kelsey Mitchell was aggressive all night too. She attacked early. She finished tough layups. She hit a huge late three when Indiana desperately needed one, and for a while, it looked like the Fever were going to steal the game back. That is what made the ending hurt even more, because Indiana had chances. They had the crowd. They had the Wings never did. Arike hit tough shots. Paige stayed steady. Odyssey Sims made one of the biggest buckets of the game when she attacked Clark and banked it in. And Dallas kept making Indiana defend every part of the floor. That is what good teams do. They do not just survive the run, they answer it. Late in the fourth, Dallas found just enough offense to keep the Fever at arm's length. Indiana had one final chance down 3 with 1.3 seconds left. Kelsey Mitchell got a clean look. The crowd held its breath, but the shot did not fall. And that was it. Dallas 107, Indiana 104. The Wings walked into Indiana and ruined the Fever opener, but the post-game comments made it even more interesting. Enrique said Dallas has a lot of pieces, and because of that, they do not always need to take the tough shot. They can kick it to the next player. She also admitted Dallas did not play great defense, but they dug in when it mattered. That is the part Fever fans should pay attention to. Dallas scored 107 points. They beat Indiana on the road. They had 3 players score 20 or more. Paige looked composed. Arik looked ready. Sims looked like a problem, and they still walked away saying they can be better. That is a warning. For Indiana, this is not panic. The question is simple. Was this just one bad defensive night for Indiana? If you're still watching, drop Wings warning in the comments.